New video today. We're doing two college football player props here on PrizePicks for Saturday, December 7th, you guys. This is the conference championship games here. Pretty good slate overall, I think, in my opinion, for these conference championship games. Pretty crazy college football season that it's pretty much coming to an end. Obviously, we'll have these games this weekend, and then there won't be games for a little while, and then obviously we get the college football playoff games, which again, I'm gonna have YouTube videos for that. Before I get started, you guys, check the link in the description below. Join the Discord, $9.30 per month, 31 cents per day. Currently doing a promo right now, 20% off your first month if you are a first-time member using promo code TUFF with the link in the description below to join. Again, it's where I post all the plays I'm making on PrizePicks, other cappers in there as well. Super positive community. Everyone in there just trying to help each other cash. Also, you guys, Daily Grind Fantasy, you guys, the DFS Optimizer, an absolute elite tool, you guys, that I do use every day to add plays into my parlays. You get 25% off your first month over at Daily Grind Fantasy using the link in the description below and promo code TUFF. Again, does all the hard work for you. Takes the lines from all the major sports books, compares the lines to PrizePicks, or if you're on underdog, probably play better picks, sleeper, hot streak, fliff, whatever DFS platform you use, and compares the lines and gives you these types of discrepancies, showing a percentage odds to hit. Like, for example, the top player on the board right now is Garrett Wilson for the NFL weekend. Garrett Wilson under 5.5 receptions, because again, it is at minus 140 on BetMGM, minus 137 on Caesars. This is probably going to bump down to 5 at some point, showing these type of discrepancies. So again, link in the description below, promo code TUFF, 25% off your first month over at Daily Grind Fantasy. But let's get into it, you guys. Two college football player props here. College football Saturday, conference championship games, December 7th. Let's get into it. First play I'm looking at here is going to be Cade Klubnik over 22.5 fantasy score. Right off the bat, his Goblin pass TDs is sitting at 1.5. Now, if we take a look at those odds here over on Outlier, 1.5 pass TDs, minus 140 on DraftKings, minus 150 on Bet365, right? So books favoring him 2 passing touchdowns. If we look at Cade Klubnik in his career, or so far this season, he's over this line in every game except for one, finishing with 22.4, but 22 plus fantasy points in every game this season when he throws 2 passing touchdowns, right? So giving us that type of upside. Obviously, he's not going to I think he's obviously a player that can get positive rush yards every game. He only has one game here with negative rush yards, because if you didn't know, college football, a sack counts as negative yards, not like the NFL. But again, ton of upside for this play. Even if we look at the hit rate for Cade Klubnik at 22.5 on the season, on the season, he is over this line in 9 of 12 games this season, averaging 26.4 fantasy points. So again, just a ton of upside there. And even going back to last season, 4 of 13, he's had such turnaround type of season. Again, I think we bet on Cade Klubnik before this season. Even in the Discord, we bet on him a lot, and it's been extremely profitable. But I like this game script as well. Clemson, SMU, I think pretty much if Clemson could possibly pull out a win here, they will obviously get a shot, I think, they will get a shot at the college football playoff, right? Clemson is going to be 2-point favorites here, or underdogs here in this game. 2-point favorites here, actually, on the road, technically, but this game is going to be played in Carolina. I don't think there's going to be any sort of weather impact on this game here. But if we look at Cade Klubnik, if we look at SMU's defense, kind of as of late, I think their defense, or essentially not as of late, but in games with like legitimate QBs, like it's fair to say against QBs that are like legitimate, like Cade Klubnik type of QBs, is Josh Hoover, Tyler Shue, Malik Murphy, and then Eli Holstein, right? So like Malik Murphy versus SMU this season, earlier this season, he put up 23.7 fantasy, 295 in the air, 3 touchdowns. We look at Tyler Shue, against SMU, he put up 17.6 fantasy, 329 through the air, 2 passing touchdowns, and an interception. He might have had a fumble loss in this game. Oh, minus 26 rushing yards as well. And then Josh Hoover, again, another quarterback I would compare it to Cade Klubnik as far as just upside. He put up 27.1 fantasy against SMU. And then the Pittsburgh quarterbacks, I think this is the game Eli Holstein got hurt, but he threw for 248, and the backup came in, threw for 99 and 2 passing touchdowns. So it combined, this is well over 20 fantasy points from their quarterbacks. But yeah, I like this spot for Cade at 22.5. I think regardless of matchup, the type of quarterback he is and how he just kind of commands the offense, at 22.5 is a low line, given with the season on the line too here as well. So we know blowout, no blowout, whatever, he's going to play the full game. He's going to be slinging that ball over the field. Also, just odds on his pass TDs at 1.5, pivoting, taking fantasy score here. I like this play a lot. The second play is going to be another fantasy score line. it's going to be quarterback at Marshall, Braylon Braxton. Now, I think a lot of people don't even know who this is. I think he was actually just recently named the conference newcomer of the year. But taking a look at this matchup here, this has the highest over-under of any conference championship game on the slate, 57.5, and Marshall's actually 6-point underdogs here, so road underdogs as well, which I think just gives more upside for Braylon Braxton, pushing the ball down the field, moving the ball down the field. But he is considered, I think, one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the country. He really only became the starter here in week 6, and again, has had some pretty nice stretch of games. Overall, Marshall offense has been really strong as of late, but 17 passing touchdowns to 2 picks. He's also considered a dual threat. You can see the rushing upside. He's got, 2 games this season with 140 plus rushing yards, multiple rushing scores as well, which obviously helps our fantasy upside, here. But looking at Louisiana, I think Louisiana I don't know, LM, or that's the team that they're playing. Here you can see the last couple of weeks, like I said, they've been struggling defensively. If we look at this game here against Troy and the game against South Alabama, both quarterbacks in this game, right, in Troy, they went the over on this line. I mean, Matt Caldwell, I believe his name is, versus Louisiana Lafayette, 28.8 fantasy, right? Just 2 weeks ago, 28.8, 233 there, 4 touchdowns, 22 yards on the ground. And then Gio Lopez, quarterback at South Alabama, versus Louisiana Lafayette, 25.8, 285 through there, but he had 34 rushing yards and 2 rushing TDs. So again, I think when we talk about, like, we're looking at what is this? The defense first position. I think Louisiana LM is like the best defense in the conference at like fantasy points to the quarterback, I believe. Yeah, 17.4. But like if you consider the quarterbacks in the conference, right, and they did start off very, very strong defensively, but I think over the last couple of weeks, right, their defense has been porous, is I guess the best word to use. I gotta go to Sunbelt. Porous. Like I think over the last couple of weeks, they're giving up to 250 plus yards per game. Has given up 24, 30, and 23 points over the last 3 weeks. And Marshall, as a team, is trending in the right direction offensively, right? They've put up 28, 37, 31, 42, and 35 in 5 straight wins, or actually 6 straight wins, actually. But if you just take a look here, even at Braylon Braxton since week 10, I believe, and in those 5 straight wins when they've put up, all these points per game, 13, 23, 23, 34, and 16 fantasy points in those matchups. So I like this spot for him. Again, must-win game, conference championship game on the line. Dual threat quarterback giving us fantasy score upside as well. So 2 plays for this YouTube video. College football Saturday conference championships, December 7th. Check out all the links in the description below. Please drop a like, hit the subscribe button, and as always, let's cash.